I be your digital dealer. Hit me in my DMs. Let me send your pack in the mail. Hope that pack don't tell. Yeah, I'm gonna sell till I go to jail. I be your digital dealer. Yeah, you hit me in my DMs. I will put that pack in the mail. Hope that pack don't tell. Watch me sell till I go to jail. Up in the way. Yeah, I put that pack in the mail. DEA be watching. I be going in and doing my thing. I don't care. You watch me sell. Pack be leaking, yeah, it's talking loud, talking be loud. What you talking about? Yeah, you really be telling, but I gonna still make this money. Send my cash to that cash app. Leave that trail. For 12. I be your digital dealer. Yeah.
All right, first off, let me know, can you hear me? Because we got the mic set back up. We got a new setup here in the lab, as you guys can tell. But good morning. It's BG, baby. We reloaded Coffee and Blunts. Good morning. Let's talk about it. Did y'all see the news about Dan Quinn? Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it. Dan Quinn per Tom Pelissero, the NFL, right? Stating that Dan Quinn is going to stay with the Dallas Cowboys to try to win a Super Bowl. Prayers have been answered. Thank you. Y'all remember that prayer we said yesterday? But good morning. Let's let these notifications go out. Let's see who's rolling with us. We got a supporter on the line. First thing this morning, I see you loud and clear. She says, Lima Charlie. I see you, Caitlin. Appreciate you checking in this morning. That's active duty Navy on the East Coast right there, checking in with me this morning. Good morning. We have a new setup here in the lab. We are taking a new approach here in 22, and we have all brand new content we're coming out here with today. We're live with Coffee and Blunts this morning. So all my 420 folks, if you got it, we're getting ready to roll it up. If you got it, we're getting ready to pull it up. And we're going to talk about this Dallas Cowboys latest news about Dan Quinn, about the coaching carousel. And then also we'll talk about some different things when it comes to cannabis, the cannabis market. I'm going to show you guys some resources that I like to stay plugged in with, what we're moving forward to here. And then today at 1 p.m., that's right, today at 1 p.m. we'll be live again here today. So make sure you turn your notifications, hit them notifications at the bottom. My man Bob the Cannabis Cowboy and I will be live with Square Groupers. That's right. We're bringing back Square Groupers today at 1. We were supposed to have it yesterday. I apologize. Something came up. We couldn't get done with that, but we're going to get it kicked off today, and we'll continue with Square Groupers on every Wednesday moving forward here on out for the remainder of the off season. What up, Michael? I see you, baby. Appreciate you tuning in this morning. What up, Robert Wood? He said, yep, he's staying. Yeah, that's all right, man. I was glad to see that. Michael Trio checking in says, Dan Quinn. Caitlin also saying, hallelujah for Dan Quinn. That's right. Carla's on the line. She says she hears me loud and clear. That is great. I appreciate that. You may hear some background noise here. You know, when the mic is on, it does have a tendency to pick up more background noise here. So if you hear that, just disregard that here. But we're talking about Coffee and Blunts this morning. We're bringing back the content. You know, last year, I think 2019, I started off, I think, when I smoked my first blunt on Instagram. And that was behind one of our Dallas Cowboy players that had got caught in Texas with a couple of ounces of cannabis. Y'all remember that? Antoine Woods. Y'all remember when Antoine Woods got caught in Dallas? Well, that day after, I think I went live on Instagram, or I posted a video on Instagram, and we entered cannabis into the Cowboys fan base. You know, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy and I going back just to kind of prelude Square Groupers here today as we get some more shout outs and see who's rolling with us here today. You know, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy and I, for about a good year in OAT, going back to 2016, probably between 17 and 18, we had many a discussion. You know, we wanted to bring cannabis as a form of content into OAT to share with other cannabis enthusiasts. And especially from my side of the house, being a veteran, for those veterans that use as an alternative to pain medication like opioids, you use medical cannabis. So we'll talk a little bit about those things here today, but we wanted to figure out how to bring this content in. And, you know, thanks to Antoine Woods, it kind of kicked it off. And here we are here again today, 2022. We'll be rolling again here today at 1300. That's right. Square Groupers, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy and I. He'll be driving. You know, he's a cultivator. He's a ganja god, if you would. He knows all about that stuff. So he'll be educating on us, the cultivator side of the house, and in terms of what he's got going over there. He's got his Patreon set up, which we'll talk a little bit about here today too as well, in terms of Patreon. I'm a Patreon supporter of marijuanamoment.net. I know y'all have heard me share that with you here before, so we'll talk a little bit about that too as well. So I'm kind of all over the place. I'm just happy that Dan Quinn is staying, and I'm happy that we got this show kicked off here today, and I'm happy that Bobby Cannabis Cowboy and I'll be kicking off Square Groupers again today at 1, and then we'll be picking that show up every Wednesday so we can have some weekly content scheduled. And, I want to get better at scheduling some content. You guys see I scheduled this as of last night to go this morning. We're live through StreamYard, so if you haven't registered through StreamYard, I haven't seen a Facebook user pipe up yet. There we are. Can't have a show without a Facebook user, right? So appreciate you. Facebook, always checking in. Facebook user. Make sure you go to StreamYard and register so we can put a face with a name here and let you know what's going on. But good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know it's the best part of waking up, man. So how do y'all feel about Dan Quinn staying? I know everybody's pretty excited. Was you worried? Did you think he was going to go somewhere else? You see, Denver, I guess, has locked up somebody as a head coach. I think some other folks that we're interviewing are getting some folks. They've said that Kellen Moore was a little too wet behind the ears. He's not going to make a head coaching job this go round. Likely next year, I will tell you, if they can figure out how to put it together between Kellen Moore, should he stay, Dan Quinn, and Mike McCarthy. I think with Dan Quinn staying up, it's pretty much safe to say Mike McCarthy's probably going to stay unless something weird happens. I don't know. Just turn your notifications. You're going to have to follow. That's like a moving target. But what's you guys' and your ladies' thoughts, Tell me how you feel about it. Carla says, Dan Q, hell yeah. I know we were really scared about letting him off the hook, right? But it's the best part of waking up. So if you got it, roll it up. If you got it, pull it up, baby. Ain't nothing like it. As we talk about coffee and blunts here today. How many of you are watching the show for the first time? Do me a favor. Leave me a comment. Let me know, hey, I'm checking in from such and such. We'll do this just like the Cowboy Cousins show. So if you're on this timeline and you're following here, and you're like, wow, this is a Cowboys page, but man, they're talking about medical cannabis. This is really cool. Make sure you turn on your notifications so that way you don't miss any of these shows. What I'd like to do is schedule these coffee and blunt shows along with Square Groupers during the week so everybody can know when to show up. I know a lot of folks say, I miss you when I go live because I have a sporadic schedule. So you got to kind of catch me when you catch me. But we're going to start nailing that stuff down here this off season. And we want to try to get that stuff scheduled. So make sure you're paying attention and chiming in. But the Green Bay supporter checking in, Mikey Fernside says Quinn will be the next head coach and Peyton will be the offensive coordinator. Ooh. I don't know if Peyton would leave a head coaching job to be an offensive coordinator. I like what you're trying to do there, though. But, let me not be rude. I'm on this Black Cat this morning. This is this GG number 4. Like Dak Prescott put a 4 in the air for Dak Prescott. This is a sativa. It's running about 22%. This is Black Cat Farms up here in Washington State. Really good flower, really good sticky, smells good, really good product all together. So shout out to Northwest Cannabis Connection up here in Puyallup. Y'all know that's my home dispensary there. As you guys can take a look at, there's a little shine of it there. If you guys can see it, ladies can see it there. But if you got it, roll it up. If you got it, pour it up on a coffee and blunts this morning. And the greatest news we heard all day so far is Dan Quinn is staying, and I'm happy about that. So we definitely got to roll something up for that this morning. What I like to roll mine up is called these high hemps. I'm still on these high hemp vegan wraps. This is a bubblegum flavor. So if you got it, roll it up. If you got it, pull it up. We on coffee and blunts. Caitlin's checking in, says DQ was really the only one I didn't want to see go. Exactly. My sentiments, exactly, Caitlin. Smart Cowboy fans thinking alike here this morning. Facebook user says, I haven't seen you. Glad to see you back. Appreciate that. Make sure you register with StreamYard Facebook user. Thank you for meeting our requirement of always having one Facebook user check in. Make sure you register StreamYard so we can see who you are there, baby. Tim Miller says, defense can only get better with Quinn. Exactly. I mean, you think about it. I'm glad that we got this. I'm glad that we, y'all see me on, live yesterday, and I prayed. I said, dear Lord, please make sure Dan Quinn stays. You see how fast the Lord answered that prayer? Well, now we're going to have to see, can we get this defense amped back up? I'm happy that they have made that this clear, if that's the case. If Dan Quinn is staying, now we need to make it clear that McCarthy is going to stay and Kellen's going to stay. Let's keep the nucleus together. If that's the case, we know Jerry's not going to go out and get nobody. He's going to basically keep Money Mike in check And this year is going to be a make or break year for all three of those guys. I mean, I know Dan Quinn is going to go probably catch a head coaching job, but this will also give, Kellen Moore a chance to, fatten his resume, so to speak. So that way he has a better chance of getting a job next year go round when they're interviewing for those head coaching positions. But y'all tap in, let me know where you're watching from here today. If you're watching for the first time, we're live on Coffee and Blunts. We're back in it, baby. If you got it, pull it up. If you got it, roll it up. You know what I mean? I'm on that GG4 this morning from the Black Cat. So y'all share with me, what are you smoking on this morning? What are you rolling on this morning? Y'all tap in with your Cowboy cousin and let me know. But we're talking about Dan Quinn. And Michael Trejo says the problem is Kellen Moore. I agree with you there. Mark Wilson says Peyton is not taking an OC job. I'm right there with you. I think if anything, Peyton's going to wait out a year, maybe do a network, earn some money, right? Or maybe he might take a year off. Whatever he wants to do, right? He can do that. And I believe that Jerry Jones has basically said, hey, man, I'm going to just keep you on ice. I'm going to keep you on ice in case Money Mike, Kellen Moore, and DQ over here don't get it right again. Next season, we're going to come back and we're going to get you. And that might be the tentative talk that's going on. Or who knows? Maybe he turned it down. Maybe he wants to do TV. We don't know. Maybe Jerry Jones don't want to go get nobody. Maybe they're going to say, y'all are going to have to figure it out one more year and make us suffer as a result, right? That's right, Jonathan Sanders. Appreciate you checking in. It says, Dan Quinn coming back. It's official. That's right, per Tom Pellisorio. I shared it here on the timeline, so make sure you turn it on. It's funny to see all the engagement on my timeline go down. During the season, when we post things, I get a lot of traffic. During the off season, not so much. And what does that tell me? Well, about 85% of the Dallas Cowboy fan base has gone asleep since the San Francisco 49ers beat us at home in a playoff game, right? They have gone to sleep. They have tucked in their merchandise. They have tucked in everything to their drawers, to their closet, under their bed. They have put it away until the next preseason, the next season, essentially. And quite frankly, those are not the kind of folks that we're looking for. We're looking for the 15% of the fan base here that doesn't go to sleep, that's looking for some built different type of content, like what we're doing here this morning. We're kicking the cannabis content back in motion here today. We're live with Coffee and Blunts this morning. And then we're going to be live with Bobby Cannabis Cowboy today, like I said, on Square Groupers. Omega Musa says, went into a coma. I'm not sure about that. Oh, because Quinn is staying? I feel you if that's the case. You know what I mean? I'll just say, hey, thank you, Lord. You are so good to me. Because y'all heard me pray yesterday. Dear Lord, please keep Dan Quinn here. That is all. Amen. And within 24 hours, that prayer was answered. So I'm glad to know we don't have to keep playing this. Is he going to stay or is he going to go? Right? Like Cole is checking in right there. It says, Quinn is staying, though. You're right. And I'd like to say hello to YouTube. I know I tend to forget YouTube a lot. You know what I mean? I know I got a lot of folks unsubscribing over there because I know a lot of folks came over there and subscribed because we were streaming those hard to get NFL games at the beginning of the season last season, and I ended up getting clipped. But shout out to Justin Rose, always checking in here on the show. Hello from Texas. Appreciate all my YouTube watchers, subscribers that have been hanging around over there. We're going to get some more content up here with the Cowboy Cousins, especially with the Coffee and Blunts and getting back to Square Groupers. So should see an increase in some videos over here. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you share this video. Make sure you like it. Make sure you leave a comment. That also helps YouTube as well. I got about another 3,700 hours of watch time we got to get. So please watch those videos over on YouTube. So once we eclipse the 4,000 hour mark, all my YouTubers out there know what I'm talking about. Once you eclipse the 4,000 hours watched consecutively, you can apply to get monetized. And that's our goal. So that's the only thing we need to do over there on YouTube is to get those 4,000 hours. So appreciate everybody on YouTube supporting the content over there. Thank you. Thank you. But Omega's checking back in and says, got to build that O-line back up. We need big men that can block for Dak. I agree. A lot of folks saying Dak's trash. Dak's this, Dak's that. Well, look, man. How about you get back there behind that damn offensive line that we need to rebuild that Omega's talking about right there? I know, if it'd been Tony Romo, he'd have been hurt a long time ago. Let's get some more shout outs to see who's rolling with us this morning. We are live this morning back on the BDG page. We are in the what the fuck is an off-season campaign. We know the Super Bowl ain't happened yet. We know that the 21 season over with is not over with yet, but the 15% of the Dallas Cowboy fans I'm telling you guys about here are clocked in, engaged. We're in the gym every day. Like you see us here now, we're in the gym getting these reps this morning. So I need all my supporters, all my green badges that are watching this morning, share this on your timeline. Please share this into the cannabis groups like the Cannabis Cowboys group. Share this into these cannabis groups that are over there. That way we can have some more Cowboy fans join us that are in the cannabis space. But yeah, getting behind that O-line, I mean, I think Dak did pretty good for breaking records and doing what he could. Now, he could have done better, obviously, but, for folks to come out and just say that our guy is trash, like, come on, man. Like, the guy is not trash. Like, the guy couldn't win the big games for us, but he's not trash. I mean, he broke a lot of records, if you know what I mean. Let's see what else is rolling with us. Facebook users checking in says, I'm glad DQ is staying. Something to continue to build on. Marcus Spears was right on First Take this morning when he said the defense carried the team this year. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. Without Dan Quinn on this team this year, it probably would have been a scarier. We probably wouldn't have won the division. I mean, we still had Mike Nolan, the hot sauce guy. Y'all remember him, the guy that, Mike McCarthy brought with him, birds of a feather flock together. What up, Johnny Wheels? I see you. That's my Cowboy cousin right there. And Bakersfield checking in down there. Appreciate you clocking in here this morning, Johnny Wheels. Johnny Wheels is a Green Bay supporter and also a fan base creator. He is on YouTube. He's got some pretty funny content. Y'all need to go over there. Y'all seen him here on the Cowboy Cousin show with me. So y'all make sure and go check out my man, Johnny Wheels. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel on YouTube called Life on Wheels. I got a chance to meet Johnny out there last May in Bakersfield at the Jaden Smith meet and greet. You and your boy Dro out there. So I appreciate you guys both supporting here on the content and with the green badges too as well. Thank you guys. I see y'all always out there doing your thing with the cannabis too, especially Dro. You know what I mean? Keep doing your thing out there, baby. See you out there. But Bradley Smith is a green badge supporter. Is coming in, just echoing my statement. They're saying that Dak is not trash. It takes a team to win games. Exactly, man. Exactly. Like, I don't understand that shit. I don't understand that, I don't understand that. Dak is only one guy. I'm trying to make excuses for the guy. I mean, Dak fucked my whole fantasy football team up this year. Like, cost me money. Like, Dak cost me money this year. You know what I mean? And I knew going into that as a Cowboy fan that you're not supposed to be loyal to your team in fantasy because just because you love the quarterback doesn't necessarily mean he's going to help you win no damn championship. But I figured since he broke all those records this season, he was going to help me win my championship. That didn't happen. But appreciate you checking in. Johnny Wheels says, all day, baby. Y'all make sure to go check out my man, Life on Wheels on YouTube and subscribe to my man, Johnny Wheels' YouTube channel over there. Appreciate you supporting the content here and always checking in, Johnny. And as always, if you're watching for the first time, we're live here in OAT. We're live here on the BDG page, and we're live in YouTube. That's why I really like going live here on StreamYard. We get to reach more folks on the platform than just being on my cell phone. And plus, you guys don't have to look at everything backwards, right? You get to read everything the right way. But make sure if you're watching for the first time, do me a favor, clock in, leave me a comment, let me know where you're watching from so we can get acquainted. You know what I mean? We're going to build up a new little community here, especially, not all Cowboy fans experiment or, they use an alternative as medical cannabis. A lot of Cowboy fans drink. I don't drink, but I got a lot of fans that drink. I got a lot of buddies that drink. Hell, I used to drink too, and I quit once I became a smoker. And so with that being said, we're all family here. So especially for those cannabis users, we want to build some community here. So make sure and share this with somebody on their timeline today. Make sure and tag somebody, that's a Cowboy fan that might enjoy this type of content. We want to get some different kinds of content here as we incorporate some Dallas Cowboy news. And we also share some resources with everybody on the cannabis industry and what's going on. There we go right there. Jeremy Bannister's checking in. He can feel my Dak Prescott fantasy football pain. He says, facts. I had that too. I finished 7. Yeah, damn dog. I finished 4. It was them critical games. It was like a couple of weeks, like that Denver game and, that Kansas City game that really did me in and kind of knocked me out of the running. I had Aaron Rodgers on my bench, and I drafted him for 2 reasons. Case and the inevitable, you know what I mean? Dak, couldn't play the rest of the season for some reason. Or I wanted to draft Aaron Rodgers because I wanted to keep him on my bench because I didn't want him on anybody else's team beating me in my league. See, that was a two-pronged strategy there, if you know what I mean. But if you got it, roll it up. If you got it, pour it up. We on coffee and blunts this morning. And like I said, I'm on them high hemp wraps. I'm on that Black Cat. This is a GG number 4. It's about 22.6%. It's a sativa. You know what I mean? Roll them up in them Hubba Bubba wraps. You see right there? Get your nice little fatty going in for the morning. Get your medication. It's the best part of waking up, baby. But we've been talking about Dan Quinn has stayed, and that's great news. That's probably the greatest news we're going to hear today. The second greatest piece of news I'm looking forward to hearing from coming out of the start is that either Mike McCarthy is going to stay or go. I mean, we know both of our coordinators aren't going anywhere now. That's a good thing. Looks like we're probably going to keep McCarthy too as well. I don't foresee him being gone, but they need to come out. Joneses, everybody up in the star who make them decisions. Y'all watch this stuff here. I know y'all do. Share this with them on their timeline. Somebody send it to them in their inbox. We know the internet, but ain't this big. And the Cowboy fan base is about that big. So, we need to put that out that Mike McCarthy is going to be staying. So we can begin these preparations and, we can begin these free agency moves with these players. And then we can go to watching our experts like Boss Cowboy Sports and the OC. Shout out Boss Cowboy Sports and the OC over there doing big things, guys. Y'all don't see me pop in on your shows, but I'm always watching the replays. I'm always checking it out from afar. I appreciate the content you guys are putting over there. My man, West Coast over there running the damn ball. Y'all know him over there, right? Shout out to my man, West Coast, running the ball. So follow your experts when it's going to come to these free agency players and these college prospects coming up for the NFL draft. That's right, at the end of April, 28th through the 30th of April. So let me ask this question. How many of you here planning on going to the draft in April? Hey, Top Fan Ty, how you doing? Good morning. Glad to see you checking in here this morning. As always, supporting the content. Cole Stone says, blunts, coffee, and Cowboys talk. That's my kind of vibe. I'm feeling you. We want everybody else that feels that way too as well. So share this on our timeline. Tag somebody in the comments this morning that will feel this vibe too, so we can build some community here. We're going to share some information and some resources. And quite frankly, let's just get right into it, shall we? So we talked a little bit about Patreon. So if you guys don't know, we have a Patreon for officialamericas.com. And about 30 folks over there have been helping us keep the lights on essentially here in the lab. And I mean the lights on officialamericas.com. If you don't know, it costs about a little over $100 a month to keep a website up and running between, your customer service on the back end with your server to your email marketing and some apps and things that you need to use stuff. So that way it operates while you sleep. So we got a Patreon set up, and thank you to those 30 patrons that are keeping the lights on at officialamericas.com. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys today, ladies, today is because I'm also a patron of marijuanamoment.net. And this is a resource that I would like to share with you that I go to and I keep up to date on all of my cannabis industry news and media. And as you see, we got it up here. You go to marijuanamoment.net. Okay, I've been following them. I've been connected to marijuanamoment.net for a little over 3 years now. As a patron, I pay $25 a month to marijuanamoment.net. They are also on Patreon if you want to go over there. And so every morning I get an email at 3:30 in my inbox says, ding. The guy who runs it over there emails me every morning. He emails all the subscribers there. I think it's over about 500 subscribers there. To stay in the know what's shaking, baking, like all of the legislation when it comes to, what bills are moving through what house. Like you see, there's a lot of action in Mississippi right now currently. But you can go there and check out marijuanamoment.net. I pay $25 a month there as a Patreon. So that way I get this email and it keeps me in the know, with all of the cannabis content that's out there. Like I said, all of the bills from Twitter, with all of the legislation where all of the, politicians are on Twitter tweeting about things. You can follow those discussions. You can follow like the banking industry law that's getting ready to pass, so that way you don't have to stop dealing with cash. You know, this president's administration has been slow to approve the bill that was put on the table, you know, to fully legalize medical cannabis. So you can follow that too as well. But I use marijuanamoment.net as a resource, as you can see. And I'd like to use this one here as an example. Let's just go here. So folks say Cowboys content, cannabis and coffee. That's my kind of vibe, right? But check this out here. You know, a lot of folks don't understand when it comes to cannabis. A lot of folks, you know, like myself, use it as an alternative for medication, you know, in terms of sleeping at night, dealing with PTSD, major depressive disorder, things of that nature. You know, cannabis can also help you from the creative side of your brain too. As you look at this article here, it says 1/3 of programmers use marijuana while working, with many touting creative benefits. You're probably like, well, I wonder what that means. Well, you know what I mean? A lot of folks, including myself, have tapped into the cannabis market in terms of the different types of flowers and things of, you know, between indicas and sativas. You know, you got your indicas, which is, you know, your cannabis that if you smoke it, you're in the couch, right? Indica, that means you're going to go to sleep. It gets you high, slows you down, right? You get medicated, you slow down. Or sativa, you can use. A lot of folks like me, I use sativa. You can tap into the creativity of it. You know what I mean? Because it gets the brain moving, so to speak. But if you're a cannabis enthusiast too, and you got some context you want to add to the discussion, throw me a comment up there. Let me know. Do you prefer indica or sativa? Have you guys ever heard of this brand before, Black Cat? Let me know. Let's talk about strains. Let's talk about different things when it comes to cannabis here. We can keep the Cowboys stuff to a minimum as well, but I'd like the bulk of this content here between today's show and Square Groupers. Mainly Square Groupers is all going to be cannabis content. There'll be two Cowboys fans talking at 1 p.m. today on the West Coast about cannabis into detail. And I wanted to kind of warm that up today by going in reloaded, as you guys can tell, with Coffee and Blunts here this morning. We had this here a couple of years ago when we kicked it off. I believe I was on my personal page until it got shut down, and then I ended up moving over here to the Built Different group. It was formerly the Legacy Group. We renamed it through the pandemic. It went Built Different Group once the pandemic hit, because now all of the Cowboy fans that have gone through this pandemic, we've stuck together, built community and family. You know what I mean? We're built different. We've been in the gym here. And that's kind of what we're doing now. As we shift to this off season, we're shifting some of the content that we do here. And we're going to be talking about some cannabis stuff. So Ruben Soto checking in says facts. But that is one of the resources that I use, marijuanamoment.net. Like I say, as a patron, I pay $25 a month just so I can get that email in my inbox every morning and I can stay abreast the cannabis industry. Now, for everybody that is involved in cannabis, maybe you're in the industry already, maybe you're a bud tender, maybe you're a cultivator, you know, maybe you work at a dispensary, maybe you work, you know, on a farm, a growing farm or something to that nature. You know what I mean? Tag those folks on here. Share this on their timeline. We want to add them to the discussion here. We want to share some tips, some tricks, some information as legalization sweeps through. Now, how many veterans do we have? Do we have any military veterans on the line today? You guys know I served in the military 23 years, retired Navy. So I'd like to know, as we got our first-time users or first-time viewers up here, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And also, if you're a veteran checking in here today, maybe you're a veteran in a non-legal state, and you're like, man, I wish I could, I wish I could use medical cannabis as an alternative to opioids, but it's not legal here yet. You definitely want to tune in here. It's like I said, marijuanamoment.net, I think Mississippi, once it may legalize, I think they got a bill going to the floor. Once they legalize, they could become the 37th state. 37 to legalize medical cannabis. So what that means is if you're in a state that's not legal yet, sit tight, especially as a veteran. Now, to all my veterans that are out there that are in legal states, and you say, man, I've been thinking about using alternative cannabis, but, you know, I got my VA benefits, and I'm scared that if I do that, they're going to take my VA benefits. Well, that is a myth, okay? Let me just tell you that is not true. So if you're a veteran in a legal state and you want to experiment with medical cannabis, maybe opioids are not doing it for you, because, you know, a lot of people die from pills. Nobody's dying from smoking weed. If that's something that you want to do, send me an inbox, send me a DM. I can help you. My man, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy, helped me get my medical cannabis card here in Washington State, especially during the pandemic. So if you're a veteran in a legal state and you're not a cannabis card holder, We can help you get to the resources you need to get your medical card. So that way you can use medical cannabis as an alternative to opioids. They will not take your benefits. The VA is actually getting input from veterans on the ground level about that. And it's my firm belief that within about a year or two, once weed is fully, or once cannabis is fully legalized, that veterans like you and I that go to the VA to get our opioid prescriptions will also be able to get a medical cannabis prescription. So cheers to that. But Jesse Taylor said he likes indica. Getting off work now to go light some truffles. I heard that, you know what I mean? Indica slows you down, relaxes you. You know what I mean? It hit different. You know what I mean? But I like the sativa because it keeps you going. And, you know, you can tap into the creative side. What I like to do is make lists of things that I need to do. You know what I mean? I could medicate, then I could get on my list so I can stay focused and get things done. You know, if you deal with PTSD as a veteran or major depressive disorder, you have elements. You know what I mean? There's CBD creams out there. There's tinctures. There's flour. There's edibles. There's all kinds of different ways that you can use cannabis and THC and CBD for medical purposes. And so, you know, tune in here with us today at 1 p.m. as we gear this show back up on Square Groupers. My ganja god and my mentor, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy, will be talking more in depth about that today. And we'll be talking more in depth about all of those things moving forward. So share this on somebody's timeline and tag them today here. And let's get back to some Cowboy news. So if you're tuning in late, if you're tuning in for the first time, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. But Dan Quinn, that's right, Tom Pellisorio has broken the news on Twitter here recently this morning that Dan Quinn is going to stay in Dallas as a defensive coordinator. He said that he wants to win a Super Bowl there. And boy, if you win a Super Bowl there, what does that mean in terms of Dan Quinn getting a head job? He could pretty much pick what team he wants to go to next. Hell, he might be able to take over the Dallas Cowboys, right? I doubt that because, you know, Mike McCarthy gets Dallas to a Super Bowl this year. You know, it's essentially Super Bowl or bust. I mean, that's for us diehards, especially the 15% of the Dallas Cowboy fans y'all hear me talk to here all the time. You know, we won a championship. We're not happy with going 12-5. We're not happy with going undefeated in the NFC least. We want to beat teams that are good in the NFL. We want to measure up against other teams that are great in the NFL. You know, look at these great playoff games that are in the mix now. You know, Dallas has those capabilities. We had those players. We had that opportunity. It just wasn't executed well enough, and it wasn't planned well enough. And I think that if we keep those three together, Jerry Jones is going to have to come out and say, hey, we're keeping McCarthy, we're keeping Quinn, and we're keeping Kellen Moore. So that way we can have this foundation set and we can kill this noise about this coaching carousel. But I don't know. Y'all leave me your comments in there. Give me your thoughts as we begin to wrap up here. Let's give some more shout outs. Let's see who's rolling with us this morning. But we're on Coffee and Blunts with BG. We're talking about the major news. Dan Quinn is staying. I shared a resource with you guys here today with marijuanamoment.net. You know what I mean? No, I don't smoke in the house. I smoke outside. So if you're like, oh, light it up. No, you know what I mean? I medicate outside. That's where I do my research at, you know, and I'll go read the bills that are out there that are online. I'll look at, you know, marijuanamoment.net, get caught up on all the different bills, what politicians are saying, what, where, and then keeping up with, you know, like the banking bill, different things of that nature. Because it matters. You know what I mean? It's going to be a brand new industry it is a brand new industry. Once it's legalized in all 50 states, you don't talk about opportunity. So veterans, I'm talking to you as well, especially if you're in a legal state, if you're a Cowboys fan and a Cowboys cannabis enthusiast, we want to connect with you here. We'd like to bring you up on the show, you know what I mean? Especially on Square Groupers. So stay tuned for that. And, you know, we're going to make it a community here and get some information this off season to help carry us through until we get up to the draft in April. But Patrick Gonzalez is checking in, says checking in from Amarillo, Texas, getting those reps in. That's what's up. Appreciate you checking in this morning. That's right. We are in the gym again today, baby. Kramer Maho says marijuana is king on the big island of Hawaii. I believe it. You know, I was out there with a local there last December when my family and I went out there for vacation, and I was on the jetties out there. Y'all seen I did a video there. You know, you had to get a 329 card. So if you're a medical cannabis, thank you, Kramer Maho, checking in from YouTube on Hawaii. But check this out. If you're a cannabis card holder in a legal state here in the United States, and if you go to Hawaii, all you have to do is apply within 24 hours electronically. You get a 329 card. It's called a 329 card through hawaii.gov. Once you get that card, you can technically go into Hawaii and buy medical cannabis. That's all that's legal there is medical cannabis. It's a little bit different, but that's great, Maho. Thank you, Kramer Maho. Thank you for checking in. But you're right. And the local also told me there's some different terms they use for it out there too as well. And one of them was called kind or kine, right? K-I-N-E, or is it K-I-N-D? Let me know, Kramer. But there's some different terms out there for it. I heard creeper, some different things out there, some local terms for it. I thought that was pretty cool as we sat there on the jetty and fired one up. Gio Flores is checking in, says, at the end of the day, BDG players have to play. They have to be held accountable. We need them to show up in big games. Exactly. And I think that's going back to the execution, coming out looking flat at a home playoff game in Dallas. I mean, it was embarrassing. I mean, Tom Landry was rolling over in his grave, if you know what I mean. Ruben Hernandez is checking in from work. Temecula, California. Appreciate you checking in from work. Give me a share on your timeline, baby. Thank you. It is 9:35 in the morning on the West Coast. The best coast, baby. And I'd like to invite y'all to come over here and join me as I get ready to step outside to medicate. Join me here today at 1 p.m. on the West Coast. The best coast. That's Pacific Standard Time. That means 4 p.m. on the East Coast. That means 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Come join us over here for Square Groupers. Like I said, my man, Bob the Cannabis Cowboy and I, longtime OAT supporter, me and him have been chopping it up since 2016 on these Facebook streets. Like I said, he's the guy that helped me get my medical cannabis card. So if you're a veteran or if you're somebody looking to get a medical cannabis card, if you want to understand more about the cannabis industry and hear about it from a couple of Cowboy fans, do me a favor, turn your notifications, baby. And we'll get you guys in the know. So I appreciate y'all checking in with me here today. I'm in the brand new lab look. You know what I mean? Thank you to the 122 subscribers that are on the books here that are built different. You're not falling off. You know what I mean? You're not thinking, I don't need to support the Cowboys content because it's the off season. Well, that's the 85% of the folks that I'm talking about. Those folks with that mentality, I don't need to support. It's the off season. Well, thank you to the 15% of the folks that get it here. And those are the ones that I'm talking here to today. So if you support this content, if you're a cannabis enthusiast and you're looking forward to hearing some more about this, do me a favor, support the content. Hit the green badge that's on here, baby. And we'll see y'all today at 1 p.m. on the West Coast with Square Groupers. My name's BG the Cowboys Unifier, baby. It's your favorite Cowboy cousin. And we'll be live with Body Cannabis Cowboy at 1 p.m. on the West Coast. We'll see y'all then, because you know why. It's the best part of waking up, baby. Some coffee and blunts in your cup. We'll see you on the next video.